David
What?
Allen Greer. I want this to be so serious. I want one of us to cry. Okay.
Well, I've been doing a lot of crying because, since the Tonys, it was very emotional, but I'm pretty good now.
Okay, so this is a quick intro. Do I even need to introduce? Yeah, it's David Allen Greer for sakes. He is not just a funny man. He's a serious acting man. He's a bright man. He's a sweet man. He's a nice man. And he also happens to love all things Michigan. And that's going to be the sports tie-in. Do you see how we did that? We got some sports in there, bro.
But wait, who is your college team?
I don't really have one. Most of my college time was spent at Texas and Austin. And then I technically have a diploma from UTSA, and they have a football team that did okay this year, actually, quite well. So, that's kind of it. I'm not a huge college football person. I'll tell you what, those coach salaries.
It does freak me out. Like, I remember there was the Florida football scandal years ago.
Yeah.
There was a booster who never went to college.
Mm-hmm.
His income flow was questionable, but he donated thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to Florida because that was his team. And that's kind of weird to me, but that's
well, don't you think that, speaking of, I think schools like the Michigans and the Ohio States don't you think those are schools where a lot of the fan base didn't actually go there?
I don't know. I know I did. That's why I did. I was always a fan, but the older I got, the more I endorsed it, just because it's like leaving home. When you first leave home, I'm not, at least for me, I wasn't that tied to my high school, my college, because I'm trying to do my own thing.
Right.
When you get old and dusty and you start questioning, is this my last day here?
That's it.
You start going back, but
God, is that it? That's why we do this, because we're closer to mortality and we're like, I need to cling on to everything I know.
I did have a friend named Harry Dunn, who is a writer. And when we all got to Los Angeles, he had a huge Barcalonger in the shape of a USC football helmet.
Oh dear.
Because I think Harry went to grad school there, and he had it placed in front of his, it used to be satellite. This is how old the technology was, before the flat screen. So the satellite, those big satellite TVs, they took up a lot of apartment living space.
And they weighed 7,000 pounds.
Oh yeah, nobody sold that. Nobody sold that. No. But he was ahead of his time in terms of his devotion to his alma mater. I always watched, and I went to school during a time when bowls mattered. The Rose Bowl was the biggest bowl for Michigan. I remember being in drama school, and it had to be 1979 or something, where we won the last 30 seconds. And I remember I was really drunk, and I jumped up and I started screaming, and I broke an ashtray with my foot, and it cut my foot.
Oh.
And then I wrapped it in a towel and fell asleep and woke up, and the towel was bloody. I was like, someone stabbed me!
Those are the worst injuries. I have no idea what happened. How was my rib broken? And no one told me how it happened.
The worst is when you call up. Hey, Jill, this is David. It was great seeing you last night.
Great.
Are we cool? Did I leave my shoe over there? What's up? You have to call all of your friends.
Oh. And it was before phones where they could videotape it all and we could just watch it the next day. That would have been way cooler. But hey, we got lucky.
I'm glad I was wild before cell phone footage.
I mean, we've got half and half, because we could still mess up now. It's not like we're out of the window yet.
Anything could happen, but my life has changed, so many ways. You see,
I can't wait to talk about that. I like the gardening thing, because whenever you post, I love to garden, but when you post your pictures, you're like, you have a full-blown farm. And I'm like, here's one tomato. How?
I've gotten into it. And again, on NPR, 10, 15 years ago, I think was it Red Barber who they would talk to him once a week. And all he talked about is the hydrangeas this year are blooming preposterously good. He never talked about sports. He
God, I
only
love
talked
that.
about flowers. And I'm like, damn, why would you ever want to do that? And here I am.
Here you are. Because once you grow one thing that's edible and delicious, it's like a drug. Now you're in.
It really is.
Yeah. And you are killing it because you're getting, dare I say, you have like crops.
Well, I planted about 30 mission olive trees on my hillside. And I planted them when they were little babies. They were maybe about 12, 15 inches tall. So that's about 1 or 2 years old. They grow and they live to 500 plus years.
Yep.
So now they're about 25 feet and they're fruiting, but it's romantic to say, because I have a 13-year-old daughter and like, we're going to make olive oil.
Yeah.
It's very hard labor.
It's not easy. Well, you're doing it yourself or you help?
Well, that was the plan.
Okay.
Dad was posting after that second glass of cab.
It sounds very much more romantic. You need help. You can't just go out there and make olive oil.
Oh, yeah. So now we sit on the deck and go, look, they're down there, down the hillside. But anyway, yeah, that's my goal, to actually harvest. You got to harvest you have to harvest at the right time. Usually, if I plant something and it grows really well, I get a job that takes me out of town. I come back and I've missed the harvest, but
I didn't even think about that because you're out of town for chunks at a time.
Yes. And I planted all these citrus trees. And then I went to Canada to work on this show for almost 6 months. And I came back and the citrus trees were like, where'd you go?
Oh.
The fruit fell off. And
wait, no one just take, because that's a thing.
I do. I'm looking around because it's gardener day. I have a gardener, but there may be some anger issues. Yeah, I'm just
on your side or their side.
No, I'm always. I feel I'm a good person, but I feel this individual may be taking out some anger on the plants.
Oh my God. Okay.
Well, it's also and then I started thinking, remember years ago, this may be before your time, but there was a whole philosophy of thought, talking to your plants.
Yes. Music. Yeah, they said that.
Well, listen, we just came through a pandemic. I would be in the garden in my yard every day, just all day. And they were really doing well. And then I broke off the relationship and had to go away. So I don't know if it had anything to do with it, but they were like, dude, where'd you go, man?
Oh, that means you're loved. See, you are loved, David. You are loved.
Oh, wait, where are you? You're in Texas. What part?
San Antonio.
And that's right near Dallas.
It's like a 5-hour drive, a 45 minute flight.
It is not near Dallas.
It's well, in fairness, by Texas standards, that's not bad. That's a drive. That's a quick drive.
Is it flat where you are or hilly?
No, I am smack dab in hill country territory. So like even my neighborhood is very hilly and cool.
So what grows there?
So I've got squash. I've got tomatoes are growing well. I'm trying to do lemons because I never got them to kick out in California.
What
cucumbers?
Yeah. What about fruit trees like nuts? You don't do pecans in Texas?
No,
right?
we do pecans in Texas. I don't have that here, but we do. Yeah. You never had a pecan pie?
I don't like pecan pie. My mom did.
Don't either.
Butter pecan. That's old Black people ice cream. Really
yeah, like my mom. That's exactly.
Because your mom's an older Black woman.
And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that. Yeah.
No, but yeah, my mom was like butter pecan ice cream, and we got Neapolitan, which
I remember that.
So I have a brother and a sister. I'm the youngest, and we all had our favorite.
So you cut the.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was in 1, 2, 3. And so that was about as exotic, that and canned peas growing up in Detroit. Our Whole Foods was A&P.
Yep.
A&P Market.
I heard of this.
Yeah. Iceberg lettuce. That's about it.
Iceberg lettuce. Still, that's a Texas salad staple.
Yeah.
So, yep. Nope. Yeah. I get it. I totally get it. By the way, did you ever want to leave? Did you think about leaving Michigan? Like for school and all that? Or were you always just
Let
going
me
to
tell
stay?
you something. I connected with some high school friends and elementary school friends. And because I was trying to get pictures of me with my group, my crew, when we were in elementary school. And I only got one picture and I'm cropped out. But all of us as 8, 9, 10-year-olds looked like mini versions of ourselves. They really did. My best friend's name was Keith Stallworth. He became a politician, and he wears an ascot, very cultured. At 9 years old, at somebody's birthday party, he had an ascot on.
He already knew.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And so then I talked to my friends and I was like, what was I like? And they said, man, you had those big words, man. The big words. Which I didn't, that's what they said. And I said, don't be lugubrious.
You're like, that sounds
preposterous.
That sounds good to me. As a 9-year-old, that sounds completely organic.
Yeah. But I mean, so when I was in high school, my energy was all about leaving town, leaving Detroit. As a matter of fact, if you weren't on the same page with me, I didn't even want to hang out with you.
Yep.
Like, I'm getting out of here. I really was obsessing over New York City. I read the Village Voice. I loved music, the rock scene. So that was in the 70s. The Ramones were popping. There was a whole punk scene, CBGBs. That was where all my focus was. And that's where I initially went. I went to New Haven to go to acting school after Michigan.
By the way, thank you for saying New Haven. What's in New Haven?
Well, it's a little school.
Okay. Just say it, because I would say it all the time.
Yale.
Yeah.
Yale University. I went to graduate school there. And, going to Yale was kind of like going to an Ivy League school in downtown Detroit. It really, because New Haven and Yale were so fractured in terms of their relationship. It was Yale was an alien spaceship that landed in the middle of New Haven. I remember walking on campus at night, and I passed a group of Black dudes, and they're like, one of them said, "Hey man, you got to match tonight." My response was, "I sure do." The guy stopped. He reared back. His body language, like I just swung on him, and he looked me up and down. He went, "Oh no, man, that's okay," and kept walking. You're one of them. You're one of them. You're a Yaley.
Wow.
Yeah. So that sums up the relationship. That sums up the relationship at that time. But we did stuff. I mean, like I would do plays. We did this one play where we toured prisons around New Haven, and we really talked. And so you have to outreach. You have to engage the community.
Right.
There wasn't a lot of that.
Man, that Michigan. Okay, so Michigan to Yale, then to just blowing up and doing everything that you needed to do.
Yeah. I mean, like I went to the Yale Drama School. I met Charles Dutton there. Charles Rock Dutton. I met Jane Kaczmarek, who did Malcolm in the Middle.
Yes, of course.
Tony Shalhoub was a year behind me.
See?
So there are, really good actors all around.
Do the actors who went to school, like seriously went to school, do you guys look down on the actors who just are winging it?
I did because when I got out, so I did Soldier's Story. And Denzel was in it, Denzel Washington. He went to ART, so he was cool. He was all right. But Robert Townsend and I became immediate best friends. And he was a comedian. And I was like, so explain it to me. You tell profane jokes in a saloon for what purpose? But he was the one who really introduced me to Keenan, Ivory Wayans, and Damon Wayans, and everybody.
Yeah.
And so it was through that. And I would go out during pilot season. I would just hang out with those dudes. And all they did is they went to comedy clubs. They'd go to 3, maybe 4 different rooms a night. And I was just hanging out. And finally, I was jumped into a gang. They said, you can't just hang out. You have to tell jokes.
Oh, God.
So I went on stage. I'll do, you do open mic. You do 3 minutes for fun. From that, Living Color, long story short, but I'll tell you a quick story. So around the clubs in LA, you're usually only allowed to go and do the open mic once a month. Okay. So I do the Laugh Factory, which at the time we called it the Black Hole of Calcutta. It was a very small club. Any laugh you got, you milked it from the structure. So I stood in line, and we were talking to all these other desperados. And then within a month, In Living Color premiered and became an instant hit.
Hell yeah.
I had like 4 national commercials that had started running again, and I got a movie. So when I came back a month later, and I got on that night, all the people in line were like, they thought it was because of that one spot. And they were like, oh my God, you blew up. What happened? And I never had the heart to tell them that all that was in play before.
No, you can't. You would have crushed souls.
Yeah, because then they wouldn't believe in the process anymore. The whole thing was like, I'm gonna wait once a month, do my 3 minutes, then someone's gonna discover me, and I'll be the next Robin Williams or whatever.
Wait, I don't think so you were not coming from the comedy background that the rest of that crew was. You were like, I'm a thespian, and then boom.
I wanted to be. I remember when Denzel got St. Elsewhere. This is old.
Ah, that's awesome.
Stephen Bosco? No, Bruce Paltrow, which is Gwyneth Paltrow's dad.
Yep.
Hospital drama. That was my dream job. So we were all in Soldier's Play, and I auditioned for it. We all did. It was like, and when you're ready, doctor, hand me that scalpel. Oh, hello, Nurse Sally. Cut.
Cut. We got it.
Yeah. So I didn't get it. He got it. I was damn. So then, LA law, all that kind of stuff. I wanted to be like the black lawyer guy. That was my dream job. I was going to buy an old Spanish house and just do 7 years and just, never have to work again. That was another.
Right. That's the goal.
After 5 to 7 years, never have to work again.
That's not. Yep. Nope.
Yeah. No. Well, Anyways, I'm
so glad that worked out that way. Living Color is like one of my. That was a Beadle family Sunday night. It was Married with Children, you guys, and it was to this day. And I actually went down that rabbit hole the other day to watch. Do you think y'all could have done that show today? That show fly? Yeah, right.
The studio would be burned down. It would absolutely. Well, first of all, there was no social media,
right?
So that when people would complain, you could call the station, you could write a letter, or you could use that breaking technology. You could fax, and faxing was like,
oh yeah. What is that?
That's the paper.
It's like such excitement for nothing.
So
people still have those, by the way.
Yeah, but we were insulated, and people, it was generational. Like when Damon and I did the Men On sketch, Men On film or whatever, the older gay community was more prickly than the younger gay community.
Okay.
At least from my perspective at the time. I remember I was dating a girl where one of her best friends were a gay couple that they lived across her courtyard in Venice. And when I was leaving one day during the show, she said they came out and went, does he know he's an icon? Because they would have Men On nights at some gay bars in Hollywood where they would just play all the sketches. All of them, end to end. So there was that. And then there was the other part, which was, should we be doing this? Is this homophobic or whatever? Because, we weren't gay. We weren't in that community. And all that's legitimate. but that's about what we got. It was not that, but that does not compare to when you misstate or misbehave, and the Twitterverse is immediate. I mean, and the response is immediate. So nothing
There's
like
no hiding. You cannot hide.
you just have to be, you're just out there. So that's just one thing. I don't think we could do any of it. I remember I talked to a physically challenged guy because Damon Wayne.
He embraced all of the rules.
Club foot. Yeah, he grew up with a club foot, and he would do handyman, this handy superhero. And this guy was talking to me, and he was talking about the sketch, and I turned. This was at Quinn's. Again, Quinn's used to be the original Mrs. Gooch's Whole Foods. It was a chain health food market, and there are about 4 of them. So I'm just telling you where I was hanging out.
I like this. Very fancy.
I was hanging out. Yeah, I was hanging out. And so the dude was talking, and he was saying how he didn't find it offensive, and he was really happy about it. But that was one person I ran into in the store. That's kind of the feedback we got.
Wow.
We were insulated. No,
it's crazy to watch that now. No, you could never do it now. And it's sad because to me, that's some of the funniest stuff. It still works. All of it still works.
It is. But I mean, also the Black Lady sketch show is hilarious.
It is good. That's a good one.
And that's now. I mean, we did it. The important thing is we did it when we did it, and you can watch it, but I'm not, you got to change, right?
I guess.
My consciousness has changed since 30 years ago. I'm sure, hopefully yours has expanded somehow, right? I mean,
I hope so.
Yeah.
Or it's getting worse. I don't know.
No, there's still ways to be funny. I mean, we already did it. So I'm not like one of those dudes, like we have to bring it back. We can't. It's for another generation or stuff. But I still, I just was in New York yesterday. I flew back. I did Michael Che's show.
Yes.
His sketch show. I'm going to do the Black Lady sketch show next week, maybe.
Do you prefer the funny or do you like the serious?
I like the variety.
You do?
Yeah, man, because I feel like, I've been acting for over 40 years, and I feel like I kind of know what I'm doing. I know my instrument. And so this show I just wrapped, Joe Pickett, is all dramatic. It's sinister and dirty dealing in a small Wyoming town about mineral rights and poaching. I play this retired game warden, and you don't know where this dude is at. So I'm talking on Zoom with the producer directing brother team, the Dowdles, and I'm like, okay, why the fuck are you calling me? And they said, well, we wanted this guy to have this ability, comic ability, because that's his end.
Right.
He's, because here's my philosophy. A lot of times when evil or darkness comes, it doesn't come dressed like a devil. If you think about the creepiest, weirdest people that have insinuated themselves into your life, they never rang your doorbell in a cape with horns. They were like, oh, this guy's cool, or this chick's cool. Yeah, let's be friends. And all of a sudden you're like, what happened? Who did I let in my house?
Who are you?
He is that dude. Yeah, he is that dude. Because that's his strength. He'll read you and come right in and be all folksy, and all of a sudden you're like, whoa.
It's terrifying. And you're kind of terrifying thinking about you doing this. This is terrifying.
Well, you remember at the Super Bowl party.
Yeah, you've been in my house and I'm scared of you.
David, you're not supposed to be in this room. What's in your pockets? And I was like, oh, I'm sorry.
How did we even, I was trying to figure that out. How did we even become, how did that all happen?
I'll tell you, I was in New York and I used to love SportsNation. And like most dingbat fans, I was like, I love Michelle Beadle. I love Colin Collingsworth, whatever that dude's name is. And I know they're like best friends and they have apartments and houses next to each other because that's what they'd play on TV. And so I wanted you to come and see Porgy and Bess.
Right.
And somehow I reached out to you because I heard you on an interview talk about going to plays. So I was like, you should come and see this. And I think we started talking then. And I really wanted to come on the show, but I think you left, returned, and left again before.
That's what I do. Yeah. It's very
Which,
me.
by the way, when you left SportsNation and they shot you out of a cannon, could you even do that now without
offending something or someone or the rocket industry or I don't know.
So, I'm the dumbest fan because I remember when we met, I was like, how's Colin? And you're like, fuck if I know. I don't know. What? Wait a minute. You're not best friends? You're like,
I'm kidding, Colin, wherever you are.
No, I met Colin. And anyway, I just was a big fan and just fanning him. And I think that's how we started talking.
Yeah.
And it just took a while, because I went back to LA, you'd left SportsNation. I actually did SportsNation with Marcellus Wiley when he first got to ESPN, and this woman, I forget.
Carissa Thompson.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
And they had the screen. Remember the screen where you'd go?
Yeah.
And it didn't work. It was really frustrating. And my ass crack popped out because I had pants. Because I leaned over and I was trying to do the screen and I turned around and I went, well, nobody saw that. And by the time I got in the car, the Twitter feed.
Oh no.
Twitter's brutal. So you just have to endorse it.
Wait, were you wearing like what kind of jeans?
No, I was wearing because I was promoting a movie. Maybe it was People's, and I was wearing my favorite jeans, and I didn't have a belt on that day.
My God, you're a mess. My God.
Things went awry. I had a short jacket. The most prominent memory was, well, nobody saw it. You know how when you bend over and you feel a breeze?
Yes.
Wrong place.
Yeah, wrong place.
I'll tell you a quick story. I was staying at the Four Seasons Hotel in New York on 57th Street. It's a beautiful, luxurious hotel. I was under the awning waiting for my car to arrive. And in the distance, a couple blocks away, I see a couple. The guy's kind of chasing after the girl who's stomping away from him. She would stop every few minutes, turn back at him, say some very curt words, fold her arms and stomp off. So this was stop and go, stop and go. He came in front of me. He caught up to her. She stopped and she said, gonorrhea, and just stomped off. And I went, wow, that is the whole story.
I'm not sure why she did so many starts and stops. If that was the
whole story. He was the one who was chasing her. We don't need to know anything else. That is the entire movie.
Oh, that's awesome. God.
It's awesome, but also I really want to jump in there and go, bro, time out. Take the L, get out.
Yeah.
Just abort, go.
Look,
go,
7 billion people on the planet, dude. You need to find someone else.
Coming back from this. Coming back from this.
Okay, wait. I have to do this thing. I have to take a quick break, which I don't know how that works, but we're going to do it. And when we get back, because I won't keep you forever because I love you so much and I've missed your face.
All right. Well, I like how centered this conversation is.
I like that there's been a real flow. Oh, by the way, okay. So we're back. That was the break. That's how fast breaks work in podcast world. I do have to say, like, do you like Jim Harbaugh? Is this a redemption? Do you go to this game? Like, how do you deal with this as a Michigan person?
I used to go to the games, but this was my first trip to New York this last week. I went to 3 Broadway shows. That was my first time in a theater. I'm fully vaxxed. I took every shot. I got the flu shot, all that kind of stuff.
All the shots, yep.
All of them. But I have been laying very low in a bubble the entire pandemic. I'm good. I don't really have to go to the game, maybe sometime in the future.
Yeah.
But I did. And like I told you, the farther away from college I got, the more insane I've become as a fan. And I thought this was a match made in heaven. And it was very distressing. I love Jim Harbaugh, but he just wasn't getting it done because people need to know. So take this season, for example. They're 12-1 or 11-1. We lost to Michigan State and we beat Ohio State. People need to know that a successful football season in Michigan, we could lose every single game. But if he won and beat Michigan State and Ohio State, that's a successful season. So it means nothing to the fandom if we won every single game but lost to Ohio State and Michigan State. That's a failure, which was what was happening.
Yeah, but like that's because the way people talk about Harbaugh is like, well, he took a pay cut and it was on his way out, and now it's the great redemption story. Yeah, he took a pay cut. Apparently.
Oh yeah, he took a pay cut.
Big old pay cut.
Hell yeah, he was like, "How much do I pay you? How much do I pay you for the khakis?"
By the way, you kind of have to love a college coach, especially who does that, because that's an anomaly if there ever was one. Who's taking pay cuts, by the way?
Yeah, but it was his alma mater. Harbaugh, I forgot what the history is between he and his dad and all that kind of stuff. So it just was
a match.
So great. This year was so great. I mean, also, going into the Ohio State game, I said, I just wanted us to do better than Michigan State. Michigan State got beat down. So once Michigan scored, like within the first 5-10 minutes, that was a win to me.
That was it.
Already we'd done better than Michigan State.
Turn it off.
Talk shit. Yeah, to Jamel Hill.
I was about to bring her up, by the way, because that's a vicious rivalry right there.
But so I could talk shit to her and everything would be cool. So from there, it was just wow. And now I just feel like they're peaking at the right time. The sky's the limit. There is a chance. Let's go one game at a time. Let's go. That's
so calm of you.
No, it's for real, man.
I know, but like, I feel like you should be like, we're going to win this whole damn thing. It's Michigan's year.
Listen to me. I didn't think they were going to beat Ohio State like that.
Worst fan ever.
Like that. I mean, they beat them down. So I just feel like they've gotten to another level of confidence and ability. And so let's go. But either way, I'm gonna be honest with you. Either way, what happens on New Year's Eve, I'm already good. Good.
So peaceful.
Come on, Ohio State, please.
So the Jamel Hill rivalry, like, do y'all bet, or is it just straight?
No, it's just saltiness. Like, I mean, because I do really love and respect Jamel Hill. I really do.
Of course.
But I am so petty that, I can't help myself. Because I remember one time I was like, Jamel, why don't you bring me on your podcast? And there was like no response. I was like, you know what? Let's just, never mind. It was like the Coyote and the whatchamajigget, the Roadrunner.
Yeah.
I'll just keep chasing you. Never mind.
I mean, it's a good rivalry.
Like,
you're the two that, because I feel like you got Rich Eisen, the Rich Eisen Michigan thing, but I don't feel like he's got a thing with anyone. Like, you two have a thing, and it's been
my personality too, as you know.
Yeah.
Because I think you have some of that in you.
What's that? Awesomeness?
Yes.
Or
never forget.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold a grudge. You stepped on my toe 17 years ago, and I'm gonna call you out.
You insinuated I was fat in that one dress that I liked.
No, no, bro. Finkel bus, Detroit. I remember. And so I do love it. And I haven't gone to my lowest, but we're saving that ammo for the weeks to come.
Wow. I almost don't want to know.
I don't want to say we keep it respectful, because I don't really, but
no, otherwise it's not fun. That's not fun. Did yours?
I just don't want it. You don't want it to be like
mean.
Well, no, a member of your family calls and says, this is too far.
We've drawn a line. You've crossed it.
Is
it just that? Like, I don't even know, who else do you root for? Is it all Michigan based, or is it just college?
Well, I'm not really a football guy. I'm a college football guy.
Right.
And college basketball. I do love the Lakers, although I'm from Detroit. I've been out here for many years. So the Lakers are my team. And I just feel like this season is something that we have to go through.
I was waiting for the last part of that sentence. It's not. Yeah, it's kind of dramatic.
So who thought this up? It's like, okay, you can have anybody. Who you want to play? Oh, it's like watching Fred Sanford and his friends on a higher level, but it's just not.
I believe Charles Barkley called it 17 times the other night, and I quote, "old ass geezers," and he said it so many times in a row that I was just
let
like,
me tell you something. Michelle. Yeah, man.
over and over.
I love Bron. I do. I love that he's here. I was so angry at the Bus family, and I called publicly for them to sell the team.
Why?
You know, when it was, well, because when it was at the point where Magic quit, it was reported that Jeannie Buss was consulting that world-renowned basketball expert, her friend, the wife of some coach.
Kurt Rambis's wife?
Yes.
Yep.
Mrs. Ramis, while sipping mimosas, I just was like, this has got to stop. Sell the team. So I still love the Lakers. They're probably not. And let me finish. I hope they make the playoffs. That's all.
Fair. That's
I
fair.
think they will. I think they'll, first round or whatever. And it would be great to just have them rally a little bit. You know what I mean? Because I feel like LeBron's strategy is fail to the middle, just skid upwards and get into those playoffs, like fighting for that 8th or 7th spot.
Right.
It's a very dangerous game. And
it's the digging of the hole, assuming you'll always get out of the hole. And that's, someday you won't.
Well, I have a fallback. I mean, I love the Warriors. I really believe, I hope they'll win the.
Wow, you've really picked teams with just, underdog.
Well, yeah.
Legacies.
I like to spot, I call diamonds in the rough. I found this kid, Steph Curry, not Seth. That's his brother.
Yeah. Don't get him confused.
Steph Curry. I remember going with my nephew to see Steph Curry when he just came to the Warriors, and he had ankle issues at that time. Like he had, and he was wearing his braces, and they did not know if he was going to work out. Like he hadn't become fully Steph yet.
God, I love that so much. I love hindsight.
He really, but now it's just fun to watch him, man. I'm not going to root for Brooklyn. I would love the Knicks. I love that the Knicks are doing better. If you've ever been to a Knicks playoff game, it is amazing. It is amazing. That would be
a great crowd. It's so loud. Yeah.
I went to this one, Ahmad Stoudemire, right?
Okay.
Amari Stoudemire.
Yep.
When he was a Knick, right?
Okay. Wait, are you saying you went to his game?
No, this is when I was doing race. So it had to be around 2010.
Okay. Oh God, you're so good at this. Yeah.
And it was the first time the Knicks had been in the playoffs, that made it to the playoffs.
Since
and Stoudemire had a back thing, he had a back problem. And so at the Garden, you go in like the quote VIP entrance, you take the elevator up, and there's this, it's like a club, a bar, and where all the quote famous people are hanging out, and they were there. And so I'd gotten these tickets through my publicist, and, David Duchovny, longtime Knick fan, Spike, everybody's up there. Gisele Bündchen, I believe, don't quote me. A lot of famous people.
Wait, the part I'm not quoting you is you're not sure it was her?
Well, I may be mixing up VIP rooms.
Gotcha.
Anyway, just think famous people. And so we go down, you have drinks or whatever, you kick it, then you go down to your seats. And I was very humble because I was sure all these season ticket holders had better seats than me. Duchovny is always, professional douchebag. He's always ribbing me. Have fun in those nosebleeds, etc.
Wow. Really?
So as they're led down, we're all leading down to our seats, they dropped off and they kept walking me. And I sat next to the bench under the basket, the Knicks.
That's perfect.
And I look up and there's Damon, there's everybody, and they're looking at me like, what the fuck? I still don't know. No, I called Gina. my PR girl,
Uh-huh.
and whose phrase at the time was, "Don't freak out, okay? Just don't. I'm gonna give you these tickets, but don't freak out."
Okay.
And it was amazing.
Oh, it's such a good moment.
Yes, man. And so, but what I'm getting to is that energy. I remember the Knicks. Did they lose? It didn't matter.
No, it doesn't
Because
matter.
the crowd wouldn't leave. They just stood there after the game and they were just cheering because they were so happy that the Knicks had made it back to the playoffs.
They just want that.
Yes.
By the way, and like last year, I would argue that the Hawks Knicks series was probably one of the more fun series to watch. I was all in on
the
that.
Hawks are really fun to watch.
So like that kid Trey, he's so fun.
Trae Young, his only strike against him is that hair is going faster than those balls are going in the basket. He needs to do something.
What do you want him to do? Sometimes it just happens.
Shave it.
Oh, come on home. He's got to come on home. No, he's not there yet. Like he's got time. He's got time.
Well, you're a woman. You should send him some products, some hair hold. Because when it gets fuzzy and sweaty, it just becomes a halo.
Let me tell you something. That beard you're rocking is a lot more high maintenance than whatever I have going on.
It really, and you can see because this betrays everything. Because I was like, I'm not going to get on.
They're like Santa.
I know, but I didn't think I was going to make this happen because it was like, download this, download that. I'm going to give it a try, and then I'm going to be polite and say, sorry, I couldn't do it.
No, I love you for doing it.
Properly groomed. But anyway, I love basketball as a fan. I love it to watch. But it's funny, when I first came to LA, like Denzel, those guys, I've known him forever.
Yeah.
And I remember one time he said, listen, I have an extra ticket to the Laker game. And I said, nah, I'm good. And he was like, excuse me? I said, I don't know, I'm good. And I didn't really want to go because that was before I just wasn't really into basketball in 1983. All right.
Okay. That's
and
fine.
This is like the Showtime Lakers.
I was like, you're an idiot, but go on.
I was an idiot.
God. And Denzel, I just think that's a good pair. I like the two of you. I like this journey. I like you guys at games together. I want that to be a thing.
Well, so much comes out in sports events. Like my second wife, who is of Korean descent. We go to a Laker playoff game, and who's the huge guy from China? What was his name?
Yao Ming.
Yao Ming was playing, and I'm sitting next to my then wife, and she said, they really should have sushi here. And in that moment, I said, we're not going to make it. You don't get it. You don't get it.
Just like that.
They don't serve sushi at basketball games. So, but that, you know what I mean? When you're with someone and they say something and you look, it's like, I'm going to ride this out.
Oh, yeah.
But I know in my heart of hearts, this is not destined for.
The kiss of death now, the 2021 version of that now is when you go to an event, like a sporting event, something that you love, and the person that you're hoping that's going to work out with is just on their phone. No, that's not going to work. We're done.
I heard a statistic that just under 30% of women in America have admitted to being on the phone or scrolling during sex. Which is...
Are you surprised, though? I mean...
No, and I'm going to say again, in the throes of initial passion, that would be devastating. Sure. But say we're 18 years in, 2-3 kids, there have been some ups and downs. We're doing maintenance sex.
Yep.
You know what that is? That's just keep the pipes
open. I don't know what it is, but I've heard of it.
Well, you're a homeowner, so sometimes you got to flush the toilet, run the shower, just keep those pipes open.
Keep it working.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, maybe in that instance, I understand. I don't want to be that. I really don't. I don't want to do that, but it takes all kinds. Now, wait, who is your team? Only
Spurs. That's it.
Spurs.
My only team, San Antonio Spurs. Have you heard of them?
When is Popovich going to retire?
You know what's funny? That's like the $1 zillion question. But if you watch him this year, it's fine if you haven't. He's like having fun. I think the fact that it's a bunch of young, hungry kids, there's not a household name in the group. And they seem to like each other. They seem to want to be out there. It's kind of fun to watch. Like it's a surprise. This has been a bit of a surprise so far.
I don't know Popovich, but I'm always wary of those guys who, he's a sweetheart. And he's standing there like, how do you think the Spurs play? Fuck off. He's a jokester.
He's a teddy bear.
He likes you when he threatens you. That means, hey, I respect you.
Well, that's fair. No, because look, the people that I love the most in the world, I give a hard time to the most in the world. If I don't like you, I may not even say a word or maybe two words.
Well, I think we all know if you don't like someone, there's a legal document around. That's a summons. Is this a joke, Michelle? No, it is not, sir.
No, it is not.
You're talking about rivalries. My second most important rivalry is with Marcellus Wiley and hitting the Clippers.
Yeah, he's a diehard. We've got to respect
now, my relationship to Marcellus is complicated. I love him, and I've watched him since the first day he came on.
Adore.
I really did not know much about his football career, but I think he's a fascinating person and love him to death. I think he's a contrarian.
Yes.
Contrarian.
Is. Very much so.
Absolute contrarian. I loved Max and Marcellus. It was the greatest podcast ever.
I agree.
And I don't want to be that guy. So I don't ask him about it because you know how that is. You know, you were great on Mary Tyler Moore's show. What you doing now? Which I get all the time. It's like, oh man, I loved you on Living Color.
You're like, I won a Tony like 10 minutes ago. What do you want from me?
No, they don't know. But that being said, we just go at it with this Clipper thing.
But you know what? Don't you respect though that he won't back down?
No.
He never will. He never will.
No, he will not.
Love it.
Not at all. I think about a lot the last great Super Bowl party, one of the greatest parties in history, at your palatial mansion at the time.
Sure.
And Marcellus was there with his wife, his beautiful wife, and his little son, MJ, who he did a shake and bake move on this old black lady in your living room. And I was like, this dude is going to be a football player. Because she went, come here, give me a hug. And he went,
Oh, and
he went right to those cheese doodles. You smell like mothballs. I don't want you hugging me. So, yeah, man, love Marcellus. But the Clippers are amazing to me because they're so consistent.
Yes. Like they can't get out of their own way sometimes.
No, I mean, the most I rooted for the Clippers was when Doc Rivers was there and the whole thing with Donald Sterling.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. I think the country was like, go Clippers.
Right. I hate Chris Paul. I hate him because, again, he's so tenacious.
He is.
He's one of those dudes, I hate him, but because he doesn't play for the Lakers.
That's exactly. He has actually made me cry by hitting last minute shots against the Spurs that had ramifications. And I'm an adult, and it still hurts me. It hurts me.
And just his walk, his physical walk. Now I remember being on the road, and I saw this profile of Chris Paul. This is before he got to LA. I mean, I think he wasn't in like Seattle or something. I forget where he was. And it was chronicling. This is his first knee operation.
Oh, okay. Long
years and years ago. And I just was like, who is this dude? He is the definition of a pit bull. And and he talks so much shit.
A lot. And he flops.
Oh, all of that.
Flopping is what kills me. But it works.
All of it works because last year, when I was in Calgary, we couldn't go anywhere. It was COVID everywhere, and Canada was very locked down. We were all quarantined. So I became overly involved in sports events. There was nobody there. You couldn't have visitors. I remember I saw all of the F1 series that you turned me on to.
The greatest show ever, but yeah.
Absolutely. Antonio, They don't kick him off the team. This is terrible. I didn't even know these people.
I know. I'm so invested.
Yeah, the Olympics. This is water polo. It's really hard. I remember telling my girlfriend, like, have you ever tread wire and then kicked a ball? They don't cut their toenails so they can cut you. They're like alligators.
Oh, it's disgusting too.
That's what I read, though. That's what I read.
I believe all of that. Ew, it's like cockfighting where they like let the things it's disgusting.
No, but last season when Chris Paul was out, he was injured.
Yep.
Dude, he kept coming.
It would not go away.
So
yeah, if he's on your team,
yes,
you're happy.
He reminds me, the reason why I'm kind of scared of him and I don't like him is because I think only in terms of little kids. Like if he lived in my neighborhood and we got in a fight in like third grade, you're going to be fighting his ass every summer until you leave town.
Yeah, I could see that. He doesn't forget.
Absolutely not.
And I think he's that guy that so many people have probably said he'll never get it done, that keeps it every morning. It's like a record player in his head. I could see that. Because until he does get it done, that will be the thing.
Well, think about it. They go, his reputation, people don't really like to play with him. His reputation.
Right? Like that's it.
He's just know-it-all because he knows it all. I'm being serious. Because he knows it all.
Yep.
And he's pretty much right. I mean, I think at this point, I thought he was never going to win a championship.
Could happen.
Maybe he will.
Maybe he will. I thought last year, I was like, I mean, there's a chance. I think this may actually happen for him.
Yeah, but he's fun to watch. I love him. But these new dudes, like John Morant, is that his name?
Yeah, John Morant.
That dude, somebody on the line called him, he's an old young man. Like, he looks really young, but his voice sounds like an uncle. Yeah, well, we were play that game.
It does. He's got like 9 commercials running. I love it.
Yeah.
It's just like, pow, in your face. Here he is.
Yeah, man. Trae Young.
Love.
Right?
It's
Trae
fun.
Young. Well, because Trae Young is like a pint size Reggie Miller.
He's old school. I think he embraces the trash talk. He embraces the crowd hating him. Like he wants to be the heel. Like that's a very sort of old school way of doing things. Cause I feel like the young kids today all want to get along. They want everyone to like them. And
no, if I were young and a player, I could hang out with Trae Young because they go, why did you endorse playing the bad guy? He goes, I don't know. We were playing and they were booing. And I said, okay.
Thought about it. That was it. Boom, done. He gets it. Like
but there was no deep thought. It wasn't like, because if you were to ask LeBron, he would be like, if you go back to the history of basketball, statistically and categorically, I know that.
But then he would come back 3 days later with a different statement. Like backtrack that one.
Trae Young was just like, I don't know, it was fun too. So
it was reaction. And then he was like, I mean, you tell the Madison Square Garden crowd to that is the most condescending, perfect moment.
That is ball.
I love that. By the way, I've kept you on here for a really long time.
Well, wait, we have to talk more about Steph Curry.
Oh, okay. Do you have a scouting report for me? Is he going to make it?
No, he's just fun to watch too, man.
Oh, as a person whose team he has crushed, I can never not like Steph Curry. I've thought
I don't know what he is or who he is personally. I've never met him.
Right.
I can't tell you. I can't even hazard a guess what he's really like, but he's fascinating to watch.
He really is. It's so
he is
fun.
like, damn.
Because you know why? A 20-point deficit for the Warriors means nothing. And he's out there. That's a couple shots away. We're back in it. I'm like, and it's true. I mean, I watched it happen this year and it was a 36-point swing by the end of the game. And I just thought, no other team am I sticking around until the end of the game to watch if it's like that. But I will watch them.
He has like, in terms of competitiveness, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, those genes where he's just fucking
kill you. But he has a sweet, like an innocent face. And so people, I think, don't take him seriously sometimes. I don't think they understand he's on that level as far as like killer instinct.
But Black people hate is really funny because they were talking to like other players who would be on your teams and nobody put Steph on. Like they put Westbrook.
Thank you.
They put Westbrook because he's a killer. I know he's gonna be, he's gonna be shooting and giving it his all. And somebody said, "Well, what about Steph Curry?" Like, man, he all light skinned. He grew up rich. I swear to God, he grew up rich. His daddy was in the league. Man, he don't know nothing about playing on the. This is real. Playing, in the parking lots and all that old stuff. He ain't got no gangster. No, forget him. So I'm just like, wow, okay.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
My first pick for anything. Anything.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I want to win. I don't care what. I don't care how rich he was. Anyways.
Michelle.
David.
Do you have any final?
Well, when can we watch Joe Pickett? Like, when do we get to?
Joe Pickett, our first 4 episodes dropped December 6th.
Okay, so we can do that.
On Paramount Spectrum. Don't ask me how you get Paramount Spectrum, because I can't tell you.
We'll get it.
The same way you get, what was this link you sent me?
I don't know, some .7.
But our second, we did 10 episodes. So our second 4 just will drop on December 10th. That means tomorrow.
God, that is tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, man. So check me out. I wear cowboy hats, and
I know. I'm actually checking for that.
It's really good, and I'm not kidding around. Like, it's funny in our business. They dropped the trailer, and all of us, in the cast were like texting each other. Damn, this looks good.
You're like pleasantly surprised.
I always go back to relationship stuff. When you see a picture of yourself with an old girlfriend, you're like, damn, I look cute, didn't I?
Right? I was so cute.
Right. Yeah, so it looks really great. It looks really great.
I'm in. You know what? Succession's got 1 episode left, so I'm right at that clear canvas time where I need a new show.
You know what? I wanted the dude, the creepy son,
Roman,
to really be hooking up with the old lady. But
I
don't know what to think now.
This last episode killed. I loved every second of that.
I loved it too, but I thought initially, because what happened is I saw the second half, like right when he dropped the dick pic.
Oh God, it was such a good
to the end, and then I had to wait a few days, and I watched the first half because I fell asleep and I woke up in the middle of the episode, so I had to wait until I could find it. But so initially, I thought her demeanor was, yes, we do our thing, but this is corporate. So
yeah, that's what I thought.
But then when I watched the whole thing, now I've changed to, she wants to hold power, number one. Mm-hmm. She knows what the sister is doing to bring down her brother, but also she doesn't want to piss him off. So it almost came like her response to his lasciviousness could have been any modern day female executive, where you have to hold your powder, you have to address it, you have to say, I don't approve, please stop, and I'm not into this. So I'm confused, in other words. I don't know if she likes him or not.
I think it's this weird,
because didn't they do stuff together? They did.
I think so. I thought they did, but I think the stuff they do is not what we consider doing stuff. I think it's weirder.
So my girlfriend said he did stuff in her presence.
That's what I think it was. It's kinky.
Well, then that's a crime. That's not a relationship. Isn't it? That's like Harvey Weinstein. That's not we dated.
It's like a weird, it's like what is it, Oedipus? This is a weird one. To me,
I know, but in previous episodes, like when he would talk about it, her demeanor was funnier because she'd go, can we change subject, please?
I know. And that's why I think there's look, the last episode is this coming weekend. But
didn't you think she was kind of titillated and into it? But
yes, because he's an interesting character, but one that, I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole, but
no.
God, he's funny. I want him in the room.
Is when his father goes, get in the room.
I love it. It's like, are you?
Because I've had that conversation with many an older man in authority. That's the only way men can open up. Are you some kind of freak? Are
you a sick? I love Logan. Logan Roy.
Yes.
Are you a sicko? My son is a sicko. I love it. Oh, I'm like, Dad, everybody's doing it. Like, it's not that big.
He's like, what are you talking about? Just don't be a creep. Are you a creep? Stop it. Just stop it.
Stop it. Just stop
what
it.
Are you doing?
I love it. I love that show. All right, Joe Pickett. I'm on it. I'm excited. I will be sending you all of my reviews secretly.
Okay.
And that's my goal. That's my goal.
Be offline very soon. Okay.
Yeah, we've got to catch up.
Love you, Michelle. And
Love
I'm glad
you.
we got this working. So next time moving forward, just tell me Zoom. Just give me that Zoom link, okay?
Well, I'm learning. This is like my 7th episode. I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm on it.
And watch that kid from Detroit.
Oh,
He did not
Q.
go to Michigan.
Yeah, Q's out of it.
Watch
Q's
it.
getting fired after this, I bet.
All right.
No chance. Bye, David.
All right. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.